The 23-year-old former soldier Daniel Khalife has pleaded guilty to escaping from Wandsworth prison. He's thought to have broken out by attaching himself to the underside of a food delivery lorry using makeshift bed sheets. Khalife has also been accused of spying for Iran, a charge he's denied, saying he only handed over fabricated documents in an attempt to become a double agent. Crime reporter Danny Shaw joins us on Times Radio. Danny, good evening.
Good evening, Kate. Hi.
What did we hear from Woolwich Crown Court today?
Well, this was perhaps an unexpected turn of events, you could say, Kate. Midway through this trial, Daniel Khalife changed his plea from not guilty to guilty in terms of the escape from Wandsworth prison. This is how it unfolded. The judge, Mrs. Justice Shima Grubb, told the jury, "In your absence, I have asked Mr. Khalife if he wants count 4, that's the charge of escaping from lawful custody, put to him again. He has admitted he has deliberately escaped and therefore there is no lawful defence to that charge." So the charge was read to Daniel Khalife and he was asked, what did he plead? And he replied, "I'm guilty." So essentially he's admitted escaping from Wandsworth prison.
Why did he change his plea, Danny? Do you know?
Well, the reasons why a defendant changes their plea in a trial are not disclosed to the jury. And it would be unwise, I think, to speculate at this point because, of course, the trial is going on those other charges, which Daniel Khalife denies, of spying for Iran. What we do know, however, is how the escape came about. It was in September last year. He told the jury about the escape. "I was not thinking straight. I was not looking for any help to aid the escape." The jury were told the plan was hatched after he'd been told in July that he was going to be transferred to Belmarsh prison, the maximum security prison in southeast London. Khalife said he was having major issues in Wandsworth. He was in the vulnerable prisoners unit alongside paedophiles and rapists because terrorists, convicts might want to kill him. That was why he was told he was being held there. And he said, "I wanted to make a show of an escape to raise my categorization. I was going to make it seem as though I wanted to escape, essentially get caught in the act." That is what he had told the court.
So he intended to get caught, in other words.
Well, that's what he told the jury. And what he did was a quite sort of carefully constructed plan. He took a pair of trousers from the kitchen uniform to form a makeshift rope. He then attached carabiner clips from the changing room lockers. He put that sling, if you like, underneath a food lorry to test the security 5 days before the actual escape took place. And then on the day of the escape, he was in the kitchen area. He came out of the kitchen area, climbed under the back of the lorry, fixed himself to the back of the lorry, and he made off. In fact, the alarm was raised before the lorry had actually exited Wandsworth prison. A search had begun that prison guards allowed the lorry to leave. Even the lorry driver thought there ought to be a lockdown, and he reluctantly left the prison as instructed, with Khalife strapped to the underside of the vehicle. And then eventually he removed himself from the vehicle and made his escape, and he was on the run for 3 days.
Yeah, we covered it extensively here on Times Radio, as you probably remember. Obviously, we are limited as to what we can say about the other charges, but he's accused of spending 2 years passing secrets to Iran while serving with the Royal Corps of Signals, but denies the charges, saying he only ever intended to hand over, well, he only handed over fabricated documents in an attempt to become a double agent. So is that the next stage of this trial?
Yes, he's going to be cross-examined about those allegations. Prosecution has said that he wanted to defect to Iran while he was actually on the run when he used a phone to contact his handlers. So we'll see exactly what Daniel Khalife says about the charges, and it'll obviously be up to the jury to consider his evidence alongside all the other evidence before they reach their verdicts.
Look, Danny, really good to speak to you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Crime reporter Danny Shaw there.